Welcome back, military specialist, to another episode of Video Game World Tours, a series where we slow down and soak in a game's environment. Today we're looking at the first expansion to Half-Life, Half-Life Opposing Force. Half-Life Opposing Force puts you in the shoes of Adrian Shepard, a soldier sent in to kill Gordon Freeman during the events of the original Half-Life. It takes place in Black Mesa, just like the first game. And while this is technically the same place, we see some wildly different environments. After your helicopter crashes, you wake up in a lab. I definitely made it clear in my tour of Half-Life 1, and I'll reiterate it here. I love the labs in these games. While you don't have the slow burn opening of the first game to get you accustomed to the labs before everything goes wrong, it's still a cool environment. Like, you can imagine how pristine this room is any other day, but thanks to the resonance cascade, the mundanity of everyday life has been shattered. I don't know why, but it feels off in here. There's nothing super obvious that I could point to, it's just the vibe. What does slightly stick out to me, though, is this room. It's weird in that it comes out and loops back around. Like, if there's supposed to be a door here or here, why does it come out and turn around like that? Why wouldn't the path just go this way? I don't know, moving on. After some truly dingy rooms, you find yourself in the presence of Half-Life's iconic green slime. The original game waited a bit to throw this at you, but you see it really early in Opposing Force. And come on, the raised platform above it? That's the most suspicious room I've ever seen. You know what? No, I'm not crossing over and getting into a whole scripted sequence. I'm smarter than you, game. Don't ask how I got here. Hey, this is a nice tunnel. And the colors really... Hold on a minute. We've been here before. Remember this? From the opening tram ride of Half-Life. It's neat that they're letting you retread old ground. And it's especially cool that they let you see the area from a different perspective. You see the room from up above while riding the tram as Gordon Freeman. And while I did no-clip out of there and explore in my tour of the game, I wasn't really supposed to. I know, shame on me. But in Opposing Force, they're letting everyone explore down here. It's not just filthy cheaters like myself. I love when games recontextualize areas that you're familiar with like that. You even leave this room via the tram you saw the G-Man riding. How cool is that? Adrian reaches the surface and is reunited with his friends. I gotta say, I really love the textures in here. The stone brick and tile are so faded, I imagine they'd feel perfectly smooth, like they've really weathered down over the years. Forced back underground, you head into a storage area. Here's a little garage. Got some toolboxes, like you'd expect to find in one of these places. And aw, look at that. It's an actual real-life picture used as a texture here. It's definitely noticeable at modern resolutions, but I bet it blended in much better at the lower resolutions of the day. Though I still kinda like the contrast, comparing it to the hand-painted textures everywhere else. It's kinda like how pre-rendered backgrounds were a big thing around that time too. Does a real-life photograph count as a pre-rendered background? Whatever, moving on. Oh hey, these are just like the offices from the original game. There's not really any rooms I feel super strongly about like I did in that game. It's just nice to take a leisurely stroll back through an area like this. Ooh, that's kinda gruesome. This next area really caught me off guard during my playthrough. It's hard to put my finger on it, but this doesn't really feel like Half-Life to me. I mean, these walls are something like you'd see in an office, but not an office from Half-Life. Hold on, this looks like a Counter-Strike office. Specifically, CS Office from Counter-Strike Source. I played CSS and Gary's Mod so much back in the day, so a lot of the stuff in CS Office is burned into my brain. I just played Opposing Force for the first time for this video, and I think this wall texture triggered something inside my brain. I unconsciously connected this wall texture to the one of CS Office. Because of that, this feels like more of a Counter-Strike map than a Half-Life map to me. I can imagine finding the hostages up here and guiding them down these steps and out the back door. Speaking of out the back door, how about this area? It feels weird that there's this office lobby with a back door that takes you into an enclosed underground area. There's a little storage room at the back, so there's not nothing in here. Though I guess it's nice just for some visual variety. It's quaint. There's a lot of ridges on these rocks. I feel like I'm being called to climb upwards and break out of bounds. Why not? Let's give it a try. Well, that wasn't too hard. You get to look down on the nice lobby area. I wonder if you can break the... Oh. There's a little armor pickup. They wanted you to get up here. Anything else in this area before we move on? Plant with smoke? A smoke plant? Sure. Gordon Freeman, Employee of the Month. Worth it. Back in some labs again. I mentioned this in the Half-Life video, but I love all the little fake screens and machines. It's really just visual noise that isn't meant to make much sense at all. Hey, here's the exact texture we looked at in that video. I specifically want to point out this texture. This monitor looks weird. I mean, from this angle it looks fine, but when you come at it from the side, it's very obviously a flat wall. I don't know if this is a new texture for Opposing Force, but it stands out in a way the others don't. I think it's the amount of depth they're implying for this monitor. It looks like it's recessed heavily, but of course, that's just shading on a 2D image. All the other textures I can remember are made to look like they're just below or above the surface of a flat wall. But look at the shadow on this. It seems like it's deeply recessed into the wall. Does that make sense? Man, this game really does like to throw you into dark rooms with a faint red glow. The Biodome. I'm immediately given Jurassic Park vibes. These are a handful of rooms dedicated to studying alien creatures. I love the artificiality of it. Over here, they recreated the default environment of Earth. Grass, rocks, little bushes. I guess to see how the aliens would react to being on the surface. And over here is an artificial Zen, the environment they're used to, recreated on Earth. This isn't anything we haven't seen before, but it's cool to imagine just watching these cute little hound eyes going about their business, like little fishies in a fish tank. Boy, these games really do like to make you climb.
What a thrill.
Through a hole in a trash compactor and down a corridor, we arrive at this tiny little room. I like that the ceiling is really low, like you might have to duck your head to go in here. This gearbox with tiny little gears, how cute are those? And this ambient blue light. You know, I only started to pay attention to this after starting this series, but game developers use unmotivated light sources a lot in games. Like in here, where is this blue light coming from? Down this hallway are the usual white lights. Even on the far end of this room is one of those lights. But the majority of this little crevice is tinted slightly blue. It does help this button you're supposed to interact with stand out, so it serves its purpose that way. Once you do activate that gearbox and interact with a valve somewhere else in the level, you can press this button to kill a boss. Wait, Gearbox? Valve? Yeah, okay. Real slick, you guys. Sometime after that, you climb down a ladder and find yourself in some tunnels. Seems nice enough in here. You walk forward, turn the corner, and wow, that is pitch black. Like, can't see the nose in front of your face, pitch black. Even if you turn on night vision, you can't see much further. It genuinely turns into a horror game at this point. You can see how I'm playing in the footage here. I was terrified to go deeper into the tunnels. Eventually, I discover it's only the giant creatures I'm familiar with down here. If they threw some new enemy at you in this darkness, I don't think my poor little heart could take it. I think it's really cool that there's these dangly bits of foliage. It's almost a jump scare in and of itself, but once you realize it's just decoration, it blocks your sightlines when searching for actual threats. You do come across some light, not too far away from where you entered, though it doesn't make this area any less scary. Okay, enough of that. Back up on the surface, I found another texture that's just a photograph. And I have no idea what they're going for here. This is meant to be a little room where you can grab some ammo, but what actually is this? Can you make out any of these objects? Actually, this photograph kinda looks like a top-down picture, like someone took a picture of a drawer from above, but they're plastered on the side of this box. Bizarre. I think my permit's in the mail. I'll just go on ahead. These early Half-Life games really loved their Nightmare on Elm Street-esque rooms. We're reaching the end of the game. I like that it's not afraid to throw these mundane areas at you, even this far in. Like, did Half-Life 1 even have a normal vehicle like this? And even though the textures are a little wonky, like having the car door be mirrored on both sides, we still love it for that. Look at it down here. It's just so normal. After that, yada yada yada, you beat the game. Not much else to say there. I do have one more spot to cover though. My favorite spot in the game. But before that, I need to right a wrong. Towards the end of my Half-Life tour, I rated the birds you see in the game's final moments. Well, there's not a lot to it. No texture, no depth even. It's just a flat plane. It's almost cute in how abstracted it is. Unfortunately, I will have to give it a 1 out of 5 though. Sorry, little alien bird, you're just a flapping shape. I was unfair to these creatures, and all you Predizens out there called me out. They have a name, Voids, and despite me claiming they have no texture, they do. It's just hard to see them at times with the lighting. They also have a crazy complex system for flying around. These are no simple birds. After you guys got #JusticeForVoids trending on Twitter, I decided I needed to do my part and re-rank them. You're right, they deserved better. 5 stars. Alright, time to backtrack and visit my favorite spot in the game. Sometimes when I play a game, it takes me a bit to think of my favorite spot. But here, as soon as I entered this upcoming room, I knew the purpose it served in my video. This cave. It's so... how do I even describe it? First, look at the water. That is so obviously not water. It's just a plane with some warbly bits on it. It's so 90s. And the faint green tint on the rocks around you. I love a good underwater pool, and this hits all the right notes for me. It's so comfy. I'm gonna assume you saw my tour of Half-Life already, but if you haven't, go watch it. And if you have seen that, go watch my tour of Lego Island. Old PC games really do have a vibe that I like. Thanks for watching and see you next time.